we have discussed so far convergence of ordinary sequences and convergence of ordinary series, that is series and sequence involving some real constants or real quantities. In this module we shall discuss convergence of a sequence of random variables, that is we have some sequence where the elements are in fact random variables. So depending on the nature of convergence, we have either probability convergence or either almost sure convergence or convergence in the rth mean or distribution convergence. In this module we in particular discuss convergence in distribution and convergence in probability. We shall also give some examples to explain convergence in distribution and weak convergence, and also discuss probability convergence together with some examples. We start with convergence of sequence of random variables. So far we have discussed convergence of ordinary sequences, but now we consider sequence of random variables. Actually convergence of a sequence of random variables is the central concept in asymptotic theory. Two types of approximations are of great importance in statistics. Number one, the first type approximates a given distribution function by the another, and in the second type a given random variable is approximated by another random variable. Corresponding to the first type we have convergence in distributions. However, connected with the latter type we identify three distinct types of convergence, namely convergence in probability, almost sure convergence, and convergence in the rth mean. In our next slides we shall discuss all these types of convergence in details. Before discussing convergence in distribution, let us just enumerate the concept of a distribution function. For a random variable x, its CDF is defined by fx, which is nothing but the probability that capital X less than or equal to small x, and this is defined for every real value x. Then we can at once get the following properties. Number one, f is non-decreasing, that is as we increase small x, fx will not decrease. Next, f is right continuous, that is f x plus 0 is the same as fx for every x. And the lastly we have f infinity equal to 1 and f of minus infinity equal to 0. In fact f infinity means probability x less than or equal to infinity, since x is a real valued random variable. So this probability is simply unity, and if we consider x less than or equal to minus infinity, since x is real valued, this probability is simply 0, and these two conditions ensure that f is a proper distribution function. So next we shall discuss a limit of a distribution function. Consider a sequence of random variables xn. Suppose fn is the corresponding sequence of distribution functions, that is xn has a distribution function fnx. We want to investigate the convergence of fn to some limiting CDF. So let us start with an example. Suppose probability xn equal to n equal to 1, that is xn has a degenerate distribution at n. Then naturally fnx is 1 if x greater than equal to n, and it is 0 if x less than n. So combining these two we can write fnx as indicator of small x greater than equal to small n. So we get a sequence of functions. Then the pointwise limit is simply fnx or the pointwise limit is simply 0 for all x, that is fnx converges to 0 pointwise for all x. Hence the pointwise limit, that is in this case it is 0, is not a proper CDF, it is in fact a constant. So now in the light of this example we define what is meant by convergence in distributions. For a statistician only convergence to a CDF is of interest, and hence we should define convergence such that fnx converges to a proper CDF fx. However, for definition we assume that fx may be improper also. So, first we define weak convergence. Consider a sequence of distribution functions fnx, then fn converges to f weakly if fnx converges to fx for all x where fx is continuous. That is, we are considering pointwise convergence on the set of points where fx is continuous. So, for weak convergence we do not need a proper CDF f. If in addition f is proper, we have convergence in distribution, because in that case if f is proper then we can identify a random variable having this distribution function, and hence we can identify some random variable x and so that the distribution of xn converges to x in some sense. So, in that case we have convergence in distribution. So, formally consider a sequence of random variables xn and distribution functions fnx with xn having distribution function fn. Then xn converges to x in distribution if there exists a random variable x with CDF fx such that fnx tends to fx for all x where as earlier fx is continuous, or at the convergence is considered for all the continuity points of fx. So, let us illustrate our idea of convergence of distributions using some examples. So, consider example 1. Suppose we have a degenerate distribution having degeneracy at a plus 1 by n for every n, and a is a real number. Then since a plus 1 by n tends to 0, one would expect convergence to a random variable x which takes only the value only the value a. That is, we expect that the limit random variable x is such that it is degenerate at a. However, fnx in this case is as earlier indicator x greater than or equal to a plus 1 by n, and hence a limit of fnx comes out to be indicator x greater than or equal to a. Hence, if we define fx as indicator x greater than or equal to a, we find limit of fna as 0 but fa as 1. Naturally, if we do not restrict to continuity points of f, convergence is not possible. However, a is not a continuity point of f, and hence according to the definition xn converges to a degenerate random variable x having degeneracy at the point a. Consider our next example. Suppose xn has a normal distribution with mean 0 and variance 1 plus 1 by n square for every n. Then we could expect that xn converges to a standard normal variable, because 1 plus 1 by n square tends to 1 as n tends to infinity. So, for large n we might expect that xn will be very close to a standard normal variable. So, for better understanding, we plot the distribution of xn for different values of n. The plot is given in the next figure. So, actually we find that as we increase n, 1 by n square is decreased, and so we get another normal variable having lower variance. So, we get the picture like this, and as n becomes very close to infinity or n becomes very large, we get a curve just resembling the standard normal curve. So, in this case this sequence of random variables converges to a standard normal variable. So, we find that for increasing values of n, the graph approaches to the density of a standard normal variable. However, after actual calculation, we find that fnx in this case comes out as phi of nx divided by 1 plus n square, where capital phi is nothing but the CDF of a standard normal variable, and we find that nx by 1 plus n square tends to x as n tends to infinity, and hence we have fnx tending to capital phi x pointwise on real line, that is for every x belonging to the real line. Therefore, as we expect, xn converges to a standard normal variable. Consider our next example where xn has a normal distribution with mean 0 and variance n square. So, in this case fnx comes out as phi of x divided by n for all x. So, here we find that limit of fnx as phi 0 which is half for every x. So, in this case we find that f infinity is also half, which is not equal to 1. So, as we have defined earlier, f is not proper, so that fn converges weakly to f. Naturally, since f is not proper, we cannot identify any random variable x having this CDF f, and hence we do not have convergence in distributions, though we have convergence weakly in this case. Consider our next example where xn has a normal distribution with mean 0 and variance in this case is 1 by n square. So, we have fnx as phi of nx for all x, so that limit of fnx is nothing but indicator x greater than 0 plus half indicator x equal to 0. Actually, if x is positive, then the limit of fnx is nothing but 1. If x equal to 0, we get straightaway fnx as half, and if x is less than 0, we get limit of fnx as 0. So, combining all these using some indicator function, we get the limiting value of fnx. So, in this case, if we define fx as indicator x greater than 0 plus half indicator x equal to 0, we find that f is not right continuous at 0, but 0 in this case is a point of discontinuity of f. Thus, xn converges in distribution to x, where the x is defined as a degenerate random variable having degeneracy at 0. So, for better understanding, we can plot all these things in a graph paper, and the graph can be found in our next page. So, we find the graph as we increase n, 1 by n square becomes smaller and smaller and very close to 0. So, it is natural to expect that we get some variable which is concentrated at 0. So, degenerate random variable is some kind of just satisfies this kind of requirements, and hence our result can be justified from the graph also. Next, we consider uniform convergence in distributions. So, we have defined convergence in distributions, and this convergence in distribution is based on the concept of pointwise convergence of sequence of distribution functions. That is, we have a sequence of functions and we consider pointwise convergence over the continuity points of f in convergence in distribution. However, a bounded and non-decreasing property of distribution function enables uniform convergence. So, naturally, in this case the question is very legitimate whether we can have uniform convergence in case of distribution convergence. So, we have Polya theorem stating this type of uniform convergence. So, consider a sequence of distribution functions fn and another CDF fx. If fnx converges to fx for all x where fx is continuous, then supremum value of absolute difference of fnx minus fx tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. So, this continuity of the limiting CDF fx is crucial in this case. If this fx is continuous, then we get uniform convergence, and if f is not continuous, we can't say uniform convergence. So we can extend the ideas of pointwise convergence and uniform convergence in case of convergence in distributions also. So next we shall consider another type of convergence which is known as convergence in probability. So one can recall that for an ordinary sequence an converging to some quantity, some real number a, it is already noted that for given epsilon greater than 0, the distance an minus a absolute value less than epsilon is satisfied for large n. However, for a sequence of random variables, such an inequality may not hold with probability 1, because in that case we get a random event. So it may have probability less than 1, or may have probability 0, or may have probability half, depending on different situations. So, but we can make the corresponding probability arbitrarily close to unity for appropriately chosen limit. In particular, the corresponding probability sequence is an ordinary sequence, and the above suggests that it converges to unity provided the limit random variable is chosen appropriately. That is, we can make the corresponding probability, that is, we are considering the probability statement of this distance between the random variable and its postulated limit less than epsilon, and we find that if we can make this probability close to 1, then we can say with certainty that this distance is very nominal. So in formal language, consider a sequence of random variables xn, then xn is said to converge in probability to another random variable x if for every given epsilon greater than 0, the limiting value of the probability that dxn x less than or equal to epsilon equals 1, which is equivalent to the limiting value of the probability that dxn x greater than epsilon equal to 0, where this dxn x is the distance function defined by absolute value of xn minus x, and where it should be kept in our mind that xn and x are defined on a common sample space. However, random variables can be multivariate, that is, random variables can be vector valued, having more than one components. So in that case we consider the Euclidean norm as the distance, that is, in that case dxn x is the norm of the vector xn minus x, which is defined as the positive square root of xn minus x transpose multiplied by xn minus x. We use the notation xn minus x converges to 0 in probability for stochastic x, and xn converges to x in probability for non-random x. So x, the limit, is taken in the left hand side in case x is stochastic, and if x is non-stochastic, by convention we place it in the right hand side of the limit. So let us consider an example. Suppose xn is defined as x plus 1 by n square, where x has a standard normal distribution. Intuitively, it appears that for large n, the second quantity, that is 1 by n square, has a very negligible role, because 1 by n square tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. So the contribution of the second quantity is negligible, and hence one can expect that xn is very close to x. Now actually the distribution of xn minus x is degenerate at 1 by n square. Then consider any epsilon greater than 1. Now we find that this distance xn minus x in absolute value, this is greater than epsilon, is an impossible event, because absolute value of xn minus x is bounded by 1. So if epsilon exceeds unity, then this probability that the distance greater than epsilon is simply 0. However, probability of this distance greater than epsilon is 1 by n square or 0 according as epsilon less than 1 by n square or epsilon greater than equal to 1 by n square. So, for any epsilon greater than 0, we find that probability that distance between xn and x exceeding epsilon tends to 0, and hence we have xn converging to x in probability. So, next we compare convergence in probability and convergence in distribution. We have defined convergence in distribution and we have defined convergence in probability. So, it is natural to consider their interrelationship, that is whether a sequence converging in probability also converging in a distribution or vice versa. So, convergence in probability implies convergence in distribution, but the converse is true only for degenerate limits. As an example, consider a random variable x having a standard normal distribution and define xn as minus 1 to the power n x. Then due to symmetry, xn has a standard normal distribution, and by definition xn converges in distribution to a standard normal variable, but the distribution of the difference xn minus y is independent of any n, and hence this probability, the probability that distance between xn and y exceeds some epsilon does not tend to 0. So, in this case convergence in probability does not hold, though convergence in distribution holds. We have discussed convergence in probability and convergence in distribution, and also discussed their interrelationship and enumerated different properties of convergence in probability and convergence in distribution using some examples. However, we did not consider convergence in the Rth mean or almost sure convergence, and we did not consider also convergence of a sequence, in fact a series of random variables. So, in our next module we shall discuss almost sure convergence, convergence in the Rth mean, convergence of a series of random variables which are either strong law of large number or weak law of large number, and then pass on to the rate of convergence and some other relations, other stochastic orders like small o and big O.